President Trump's 20-point plan for peace in the Middle East has brought a ceasefire and release of remaining Israeli hostages, yet key steps like Hamas disarmament, Gaza's future governance, and who controls the borders are still unsolved. So now the question is, can this fragile framework for a lasting peace hold? Joining us now is Dr. Alan Fromherz. He's a professor of Middle East and Gulf and Mediterranean history from Georgia State University. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So from an everyday American in Georgia's watch from afar, how should this effort matter to them?
Oh, it matters a great deal. I think the stability of the world is dependent on this peace deal. The Middle East is called the Middle East for a reason, because it's at the middle of so much of the world's population and so much of the world's economy as well. Even our oil prices are dependent on what's happening in the Middle East. So, and a large population of Americans, of course, is Jewish, Muslim, or Christian as well. So that matters too.
From your perspective, how different is this Trump peace plan from past U.S. efforts in this region?
I think it is different this time because Trump is really putting himself completely into this plan. He's even at the head of the peace board that's supposed to oversee what's going on in Gaza. So he's investing quite a lot of his own reputation and the reputation of his administration into this plan. And he has gotten all the players to work together around this issue as well. So he's gotten Turkey on board, he's gotten Qatar on board, even the Saudis behind the scenes. And he has Netanyahu, which is the most important piece of all. That is, the Israelis actually fully committed to this, along with the people of Palestine and Gaza.
Who ultimately stands to gain the most if Trump's plans succeed? Is it Israel, the Arab states, or the United States?
Well, I think we all gain from peace. But who gains the most? That's a very interesting question. I think probably if there is actual peace and development, the people of Gaza immediately gain the most, because they have been, as the plan says, they have suffered more than enough. And their lives have been in a state of absolute chaos, and they have been in a state of starvation as well. And infants dying is not how we should have our world today. So I think the people of Gaza have the most to gain from this, and definitely.
So far, Hamas has resisted disarmament. Do you see any realistic path where that happens without sparking another round of violence?
Well, the plan is very intelligent in a way, because it says the parts of Gaza that are already under control of the Israeli Defense Force, those will start to transition over to this new plan already. So I think the incentive will become more and more apparent that those parts of Gaza that are part of the process are benefiting more than those that are not. I do think Hamas, there needs to be some way to commit Hamas to the actual terms of this, which, as you say, include disarmament. But what Hamas is doing right now is trying to consolidate some of its power against other factions within Gaza. So there are different families that have different loyalties and alliances. It's not all of them to Hamas, and many people of Gaza are against Hamas. And so Hamas is trying to take out those rivals internally.
Doc, tell us what you would be looking for over the next couple of weeks as a true sign of peace and that it has some staying power here.
Yes, I think, as you're saying, if we're seeing Hamas on the ground, the actual people who are doing the fighting on the ground, handing over their weapons, because one of the issues with Hamas is that it's deliberately decentralized, because so many of the leaders have been taken out by the Israelis. They deliberately made it difficult to say, well, this is the only leader, or these are the main leaders. They have decentralized it. So you have to have a process where Hamas as an entity as a whole, even the mid-level and lower-level people, come to the understanding that, yes, giving up our weapons and following this peace process is the only way forward for our future, for our children, for our grandchildren.
Dr. Alan Fromherz, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your insight on this.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm sure we're going to have you back on as well. We'll talk more.
Oh, I'd love to. Thanks.
Take care.